This is in continuation to the video on investment part 1. So this video discusses about the investment objective. So we have seen in detail about why people invest for the future security. So people make investment for a variety of purposes, right? Depending on the life stage and risk appetite of the investor, the objective changes. So the objective of investment should be understood before one person initiates the process of investment. So selection of investment, it should purely be based on the research of various factors. So major objectives, if we say, right? So as I said, based on the life stage and the risk appetite, normally investment objectives are classified into 3 main objectives. You can say safety, growth and income. Let us go one by one. So here I have given the objectives of investment under various category. So first one, right, very importantly we said income, because income being the major objective of every investment, right, because you need to make always an extra income. That income may be in the form of a dividend, yield, or maybe in the form of a interest. So if there are suitable securities, maybe the prices of a relatively stable but still capable of paying a reasonable dividend or interest of shares if you have invested in some blue chip companies. So the investment should earn a reasonable and expected return on the investment. Certain investments which we call a very safe investment, like bank deposits, debentures, bond, they carry a fixed rate of return which pay periodically. On investment made in shares of companies, the periodic payment may not be assured, but it may ensure a very higher return from a fixed income securities. But these investments always carry a very higher risk than a fixed income securities. As we said, depending on the risk and the return, the trade-off, whether you take a low and moderate risk and take a moderate return, or you take a very high risk and take a higher return. So you trade off and you decide. But the primary objective of any investment is the income. So this has to be understood before some person making a process of investment. So the investment should earn reasonable and expected return on the investment. The next one is the capital appreciation. What is capital appreciation? So capital appreciation is always some amount which you have been accumulated over a period of time. So if you have invested 1 lakh in a company, taking a bonus shares or taking the dividend which you have not used, which keep accumulating, the 1 lakh over the period of time would have become 5 lakh or 6 lakh. I did not mention a particular period. I am just saying that accumulation of whatever money that you have earned over the shares, you are letting it accumulate. So that we call a capital appreciation. So capital appreciation you can achieve, right? There are 3 ways. Normally people say a person investing in companies can appreciate their capital which have been invested 3 possible ways. So number 1, conservative growth. So investors who seek to achieve conservative growth, they seek to build an investment portfolio that will make money over a long term by capital appreciation, which we call that as a wealth building over a time. This is called conservative. You are letting it to grow. So that is called wealth building. Second one is the aggressive growth. So investors who seek to achieve in a very short term and long term capital gains opt for aggressive growth in stocks. So current income from the dividend is of low priority, but the investors are risk seekers, right? So aggressive growth, you invest in a very high risk shares, thereby you are making your investment at a very shorter period of time appreciate. Next one is speculation. So an investor with speculation as an objective wants to maximize return by buying and selling shares and securities so often to make a profit from a short-term price fluctuation. Means you buy at a low price, as soon as you find the stocks picking up in a market at a very higher price, you sell them. So high rate of risk is involved with this objective. So the investment should provide for appreciation in the capital invested over a period of time. We call that as a capital appreciation. The total return on a particular investment is a combination of periodic cash receipts and capital gain that is made on investments we call a forms of return. So the return expected from securities, we put them across two categories. One is the periodic cash receipts, another one is the capital gain. So what is the periodic cash receipts? Dividends are always paid in the form of a cash. So cash dividends which are payable as and when the board of directors of the company they decide to distribute the after tax earnings of the company. In case of debentures, bonds or bank deposits, the coupon rate which is payable at the end of each specific period. So these two categories we call that as a periodic cash receipts. Next one is the capital gain. So the second component of the return, right? It is a change in the price of investment called the capital gain or capital loss. How we calculate the capital gain or the capital loss? You buy a share, you hold it for a period of time. Whatever the dividend you have earned on it, right? And you take the current price, right? Over the period of time, the current price that is available in the market for your shares. You multiply that with the market price, number of shares you hold, add all whatever earnings you had so far. That is the capital gain. Maybe the price have fallen down, that becomes the capital loss. So this is one kind of a forms of return. Next, the safety and security of funds. Another important consideration when you make an investment, right? The funds so invested, right? It should be safe and secure. So the investment should be capable of redemption as and when there is a due. So as long as you can do a redemption of your investments or your funds, it should be always safe and it should be always secure. So there should not be any principal loss of what you have invested. Next is risk. So the level of risk depends on the objective of investment. So the investor who expects greater return, they should always be prepared to take a greater risk. So you should make a very careful planning and a periodical review of the market situation. And the investor can minimize his risk when you take a lesser return where you can minimize the risk. So such investments and avenues you should choose. Next is liquidity. So the liquidity of investment is another consideration to be kept in mind by the investor. So before making an investment, the investor should consider the degree of liquidity required. Certain securities, when they are capable of being sold in the readily available market, and some securities may not be so liquid. So the investor should prefer securities which will ensure liquidity and marketability. That is why people invest in certain liquid, we can call some money market instruments, right? So where they can, or short-term investments, or we can call that as a marketable securities, where if they sell, they can very quickly get their liquidity. Maybe we can call that as a current asset, that those investment will not go beyond 1 year period of time. So that is kind of ideal way of companies making a current asset management in order to improve the liquidity of the company. As and then there is a demand, immediately they sell off these marketable securities and they quickly make the money available for their necessities. The last but not the least, very important objective of the investment is the tax consideration. So investor, they always take consideration of the provisions that is offered in the income tax or the capital gains tax, wealth tax and the gifts tax. So this helps to minimize the tax burden, and they avail all tax exemptions available by him given by the company. So the investor should also keep in mind to the extent of inflation, diversification of portfolio, degree of the risk and risk coverage, growth rate, the objectives of the investment changes over the period of the time with the same investors. Next is the classification of investment. So different methods of classification of investments are available. There are some methods. So the very first one is the physical investment. So physical investment, we call them as a tangible assets like motor cars or aeroplanes, ships, buildings, plant and machinery. So some physical assets in a company we call machinery or equipment, so which are used majorly for the production. So if we say some physical investments where housewives or a household chores they do on gold and silver ornaments, right? So these are all very useful. These are all useful at a house level, but when it comes to a production level, these may not be more ideal, right? So but still gold and silver is also a ornament which is mainly used as an investment. So we call that anything that is tangible, we call that as a physical investment. Next one is a financial investment. So these are all financial assets. These are used for the consumption or the production of goods and services, or for further creation of assets like NSS certificates or equity shares and bonds, preference shares. So these are all the financial investment. Next is marketable and non-marketable investments. So some investments which are listed on the stock exchanges, so which can be very easily marketable and can be converted into cash in a very short period of time, like shares, bonds and other instruments issued by government or companies. Non-marketable investments like bank deposits and PF insurance schemes that cannot be bought or sold in open market, like that happens in stock exchanges. These are very difficult to convert into cash immediately. The next one is transferable and non-transferable. So instruments like shares, bonds that can be transferred in the name of others or can be sold or exchanged for cash. So these are some instruments like NSEs and insurance certificates. So that cannot be transferred. So some may be transferred and some may not be transferred. So the securities can be classified on the basis of factors, the following factors like issuing authority, denominations, ownership and participation rights, term of maturity, income payments, degree of liquidity, tax treatment, individual or composite security, derivatives of other securities, etc. So many channels or modes of making investments are also available in the investments. So different investments that confer different sets of rights on the investors and different sets of conditions under which these rights can be exercised. So these modes of investments or investment avenues or investment alternatives we will be seeing in detail in the forthcoming videos. Thank you.